I would say I wish I was investing now.
Yeah.
My team would probably be double or triple what it is.
Yeah. So I guess like we can go ahead and get started. Would you like me to just refer to you as Heffe or?
Yeah, Heffe's fun.
Heffe, okay. So I just go by Lee. So Heffe, what we'll do is go ahead and get started. I just wanted to do a really quick recap of the AMA by talking to community members inside of the Police and Thief Discord channel, because it's a really active community. And they go wild when there's a new change. They go wild with price action. The AMA was really engaging that we just had and participated in. Heffe came on stage and asked some questions that I think were really intelligent. And I'm just looking for community members like that to ask and to get some insight from as to kind of what their strategy is and where they see the product or the project going and so on. So the purpose of this call is really just to do that recap of the AMA for Police and Thief, and then just talk a little bit about strategy going forward. So with that, Heffe, welcome, and thank you for joining. My intent was to have a couple of other community members on as well, but we had somebody that got sick, and then my schedule got a little crazy, and it caused me to screw up the timing of this, and we ended up losing somebody else because I strung things out too long. So thank you for sticking with us. Do you want to do like a short intro of yourself and just kind of like whatever you want to share and how long you've been in crypto and so on?
Sure. Yeah. So I joined the project around like end of Gen 1 mints going to Gen 2. So basically when all the hype was going on. I don't even remember how I found this project, to be honest. I think I was just scrolling through CoinMarketCap looking for some gaming cryptos, and I might have stumbled across it. I've invested in like Ethereum and Shiba and stuff, but I haven't really got into crypto until like the past month, really starting to understand like crypto and crypto gaming in general. And so this is my first, I guess, exposure to it in this Police and Thieves project.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, kind of similar to my journey as well. So like I'm new to crypto as well. I am, I've been trading options for, I don't know, like close to 15 years or so. But crypto, I think, after this last run, I came to terms with the fact that just saying I don't understand it is kind of a dumb way to go through life in general. And there's huge opportunity risk involved in, not trying to understand something that could be potentially life-changing like crypto. So I started digging in, later last year. And as some of these DAO projects were being released and everything, and it was just really interesting to me, and really trying to understand the tokenomics and how these projects make money and how they can be sustainable long term was something that intrigued me to the point that I wanted to learn more, and that's what kept me involved, and that's what kind of got me into some of the initial investments that I'm in. And like you, new to NFTs and everything as well. And with this, the gamification of it was just intriguing. So I put a little bit in and got some interesting returns, and it kind of kept me hooked. And then now here we are today, where we've the project is really young, and it's gone on this death spiral in terms of price. But like, I don't know where you are, but like I'm still making money from it. So I feel like it sucks, and it's kind of hurt as far as the price decline, but I still have passive income coming in, and it's good. What do you feel about the current state of the project and the price action?
So I know this game is supposedly a fork of the Wolf game, and I looked at that chart, and I'm not worried, especially if loot follows that same pattern. A lot of hype, it dies down, especially while we're in the inflation stage of the project, and then once we get to phase 2 where the coin becomes deflationary, I think that's when we're gonna see us edge back to our all-time high. As far as like the price right now and everything, like you said, we're still making money. Like I said, I got in during like peak hype, and as long as you were compounding, you're still making probably a little less than when you were making like per day when at the hype, when it was at 4 cents. But with all my NFTs I have now, with the price that's at, I'm still making a couple $100 a day. Right?
Yeah.
So I think the compounding kind of offsets the price coming down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried. Especially with the minting being shut off, NFT's gonna rise. I think loot's gonna rise. I'm not too worried at all.
So have you taken any profits, or have you
I
just?
have not.
Okay. So have you just, when you say compounding, are you reinvesting it back into minting new FTs or buying them from NFT trade, or when you say compounding, are you putting it over into a liquidity pool?
So I did do some minting, did do some buying off the secondary market because getting cops was too hard to get from minting. So
Yeah.
I think a couple times ended up converting loot to AVAX and then buying off the market. But for the most part, yeah, just compounding back into minting, and now I'm just holding all the loot I can for phase 2.
Yeah, that's where I am too. I feel like liquidating right now is selling in the hole, and I think there's more opportunity to the upside than really there is risk remaining to the downside.
Right.
At least for me. And I have taken a little bit of profit along the way, but in my other videos I've talked about how much I have into it as far as an initial investment, and it was like $3,600 at the time that I made those videos, and then I said I'm gonna wait until I break even to invest any more. However, after this last AMA and seeing price really tank, what I did was I went ahead and I bought another Police NFT, an Alpha 6, and I think our strategies are the same, it sounds like, in that I'm just stacking up the loot right now because I think that the opportunity for a price increase like we're seeing right now, actually, we're getting a little pop right now, but the opportunity with phase 2 when additional utility and everything is introduced into the product is going to help us on the price of loot. So that sounds like kind of what you're thinking too, right?
Yeah, my investment, it's about the same as yours. That's about how much I have in. I know some people getting into games like this, they take 50% profit and 50% compound, which maybe I should have done, hindsight, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of good things that these developers are doing. I know they're talking about the casino and stuff, and that'll be, it's a whole separate thing separate from phase 2, where it's basically the same concept as chicken. But
yeah, what was your biggest
more
takeaway?
Valuable, huh?
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
All I was saying is I think long term it was more valuable to get more NFTs than pull my investment out, especially when we see I don't think it can go much lower than we've already seen it. And like you said, I think there's huge upside to what it could do in the next couple weeks, couple months.
Yeah, I mean, the zeros can keep coming.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to look, how much of my initial investment have I recouped, or if I don't even care about that, if my initial investment was put in understanding initially that this could go either way, and I'm totally cool with that. I mean, your risk is defined when you place your trade, So, and after that, it's a decision of whether you take profit and get to break even, and then use house money going forward. And it's all, I mean, it's just risk management. So,
Yeah.
And I think the opportunity is at this point for my investment is to upside potential. I'm curious what you think about the AMA though, which was kind of the purpose of the call, looking at some of the things that Six has discussed on the AMA and what and how you think that will impact your investment that you have right now.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot that was gone over during the AMA.
So maybe let's look at let's focus in on the sort of the interesting transition to the chicken model. I thought that was the idea of having that supporting token is not a new one, but I just thought it was interesting, and I think it's gonna. I think it's going to help at least short term with the price of the token by adding utility and then having this having the supporting token in play. I don't know what it's going to look like long term, so I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure if they're I guess, their vision for this game, if that was in it the whole time, or if they're implementing it so they have more time to work on the casino and get the right approvals and stuff. Regardless, I think it's a system that seems to work over in chicken, so I don't think it's a bad thing short term for the project, especially if you want to keep people involved and bring more hype to this project, right? We're stopping minting. No one wants to go over and buy a $2,000 chicken anymore. I was having a conversation with a couple people in the chat today. Takes like 3 or 4 months to get your investment back, but I did the math. You're still making like $750 a month. So I think long term, that's pretty good. You get 2 or 3 chickens. A lot of people can live off money like that.
Yeah.
But right now, you can get one of these NFTs for two AVAX or 1.5 AVAX. I don't even know what the floor is for the thieves right now, but that's like a couple $100, and long term, if we start seeing a similar market cap, we start seeing these NFTs become valuable. If you're in now, you're gonna see huge upside potential with these NFTs getting in early versus waiting and buying in when they could be the same price as chicken.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think the floor price is so low for a thief right now. With the floor price where it is, then like there's really not much more incentive to mint. So it is a really good time to move to a version 2, a phase 2, and open up additional utility and everything. And then so that was another question that people had is like, now I have these police, and that was great up until this point, but what's the role of police, and what's the additional value of a police NFT when minting is no longer in play? And I think I've heard a couple of things, like when someone upgrades their NFT, or for example, what Six has discussed in terms of being able to form a gang with your thief NFTs. Anytime changes like that happen, maybe there is an opportunity that opens up where your NFTs are exposed to police in order where they can be stolen still, right? Did you hear anything in addition to that, or anything different?
That's what I heard. It's funny that you bring this up, and I think that uncertainty is affecting the police floor, because before the AMA, I had bought an A7 for what was, I think, 9 AVAX, and the floor of thieves was still around 2 or 3. Now you're seeing A7s go for 4.6 AVAX. So I think that uncertainty, or at least that information not being, I guess, in your face as a new investor, is leading people to sell off their cop NFTs for pretty cheap. But I did hear that there should still be some stealing mechanic for thieves, as well as, I believe, with the upgrading mechanic, thieves will start at ground 0, right? They'll start at like whatever, A1, A0, whatever the first level is, but cops carry over their level. So I think as far as cops will be pretty far ahead of thieves as far as level, and that might have a somewhat of a difference between how much loot they are able to generate in the next phase.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I think too. And I heard Sixes on the AMA say that whatever they end up adding in version 2, they will find a way to ensure that the police NFTs still have an appropriate level of value, as they did in version 1. So I think what he's looking to do is keep that ratio of value from police to thief about the same as where it is now, just by introducing some new tokenomics. So and that's cool. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. And I've also heard of possibly a mechanic they could use to make the token even more deflationary, is if you don't want to risk the potential of losing your thief or cop when upgrading, you can pay like extra BRIBE, and then you won't have that risk of upgrading. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, or if that's possibly in the works, but I've heard of that as a possibility.
It's really interesting to hear something like that. So like already, insurance is is being introduced into the game. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think so. A couple of things, like Ponzi-nomics are not terribly interesting to me because I want a project to be sustainable long term without having to rely on new investments coming in. So it at least be sustainable and not take the downward spiral of death, where you see like the launch of a project, huge spike in price, and then just a regular perpetual spiral down to a very, very long tail of almost no sizable candle activity on the chart at all. And I'm personally cool with being in a project that's at the very end of its long tail, at the very tiniest portion. But I want the project to be really clear that that's going to happen as I come in as a new investor. I want to know. I don't want it to be a surprise. And there's a lot of new money coming into crypto right now, and I think like people get into some of these Olympus DAO forks and then maybe a game like this, and they look at the chart and they're like, oh, that's a horrible project. But like in reality, you could be making a lot of money down at the long little skinny tail. It just doesn't look very enticing. And so I think projects need to do a better job of communicating that, like the perception of the chart and the potential volatility in the early stages. You and I might think, even as new crypto investors, we might think, okay, that's kind of common sense that there would be that volatility, but maybe not everybody sees that. So I think being able to look at a project and see a horrible looking chart and communicate that it still makes a lot of money is important. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. Especially, seems like a lot of people are on edge with the, like I said, a lot of new money's coming into crypto, but you're seeing a lot of these DAO projects that, take off and then rugs get pulled or whatever. They fail. I think a lot of people have PTSD about that, like Ring. I know a lot of people are in Ring. I'm lucky to not have been in it, because I was planning on being in it. But I think a lot of people have a fear of that. So, right, being able to reassure people coming into the project that that's not a rug and, things will get better. And that this is just the current phase we're in right now, the inflationary phase where we're seeing everything just drop as we're trying to get new investors. I think that is pretty important.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody that's looking at Police and Thief right now? And they're going to go and look at the chart. They're going to look at they're going to come and join Discord. They're going to look at Twitter. They're going to look at like the marketing efforts and stuff. But they're going to go look at the chart and they're going to go, oh my God, this is horrible. What's your advice to them?
In the Discord, we get new people in there all the time. I try to point them to the AMA, beginners chat. Basically, just get them to do their own research so they can make their own opinion. Because I can't tell someone, oh, this is gonna be the best project you've ever been in, right? No one really knows. I know a lot of people who have been here for a while have seen how hard the devs work. How hard they're pushing for stuff. Some of the new features that are coming that even as a new investor, I can see how that would drive a lot of interest to the project. But I can't, we can't always be reciting the same stuff. So it would be good, I try to send people to the AMA in the pins, look at the AMA, like all the comments that the mods put in for the AMA, and basically try to make a decision for themselves. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on, and I think the casino idea is going to be pretty big. I think right now is a good time to get in if you're trying to take low risk. Floor is pretty low. As stated in the AMA, to me, it seems like everything should be pretty deflationary, and we should slowly see a nice rise. There's many factors that could affect that. But I think we have a good chance of seeing a nice rise over time.
Yeah. One of the things that I hear a lot is there'll be statements like, if you liked it at 4 cents, then you got to really like it now. Well, no, I don't have to really like it now, because a lot of things could have changed between when we were at 4 cents and where we are today. A lot of things could have changed in terms of, the roadmap maybe I didn't like this version 2 move with introducing kind of different tokenomics. I do like it, but I'm just saying, like, things change in the life cycle of a project or any investment, and just because you bought in at a certain price and it got lower doesn't mean that it still makes sense to reinvest. So I hear that, quite a bit, and that's my stance on it. But I do think this is an interesting point if you're just coming in brand new. And I think that the chart tells a piece of the story, but not the entire story. And if you were coming in investing what I put in today, I think now your upside is even greater in my opinion. But that's not financial advice. That's just math, simply just my opinion. But so on the casino aspect, I didn't hear any time frames around this. And maybe you're more plugged in on what's happening with Wonderland.
I mean, I don't know if you've been how much you're in the general chat, but we got some degens in this project that I'm sure would love a casino. I just think it would help.
It's
inflationary.
It's all the guys
of the coin.
Oh yeah, 100%. But wait, it's all the guys that immediately jumped on the sneaky minting, right? Where you have a 10% chance. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going back to your, what was that?
I just love being the house in that situation.
Oh yeah. Going back to your comment about if you loved being in at 4 cents, you definitely love being in now. I would say I wish I was investing now.
Yeah.
My team would probably be double or triple what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But, right. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I kind of FOMO'd in a little bit. I got in at like a little bit under 3 cents. So I mean, and it was really cool. Like I talked about in the other video, but like I was on a road trip and I minted my NFTs, and then when I got to my destination, I'd made like $300, and I was going, okay, this is weird, like this is crazy. So that's how it started for me.
Yeah, same. That's about when I got in. It was like 3 or 4 cents. I bought a couple, and then it tanked. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, very cool. What other projects are you in right now? Yeah. Anything that you wanna share?
I got some time that I'm staking right now. Titano too, but I'm thinking about pulling out of that.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people have been thinking about it. It's kind of taking a dump too. I am as well, and I got in not too long ago. Kind of like, basically, if you're watching my videos, I'm pretty horrible with timing, so you should not do anything that I do. But
I mistimed. I saw, because the compounding is so good. So at 19 cents, I had made a good return. And now if I sell now, I'm basically breaking even, which kind of hurts. But
yeah,
that's investing in crypto in general. So
yeah, but I like it because, and then there's another one that is a fork, essentially a fork of Titano, with some multi-chain capital properties and everything. But I love the experiments between like Olympus DAO and what Wonderland has done, and then now seeing these projects that are using tax mechanisms on the front end and the back end to try and figure out how to stabilize price. It's super interesting. Like, the problem is everything is so young. It is absolutely an experiment. So you don't know how it's gonna play out over 6 months.
Yeah, I agree. I really like Wonderland, especially how their APY is adjustable. I think that'll help make it a little more stable. I also got Decentraland, Gala, Polygon, and Starship. Starship's on the Binance chain. And I'm still looking to pick up some Illuvium before it starts going up here again, which I think it will. Today looks pretty good. I'm hoping it's a nice market reset and things start going up from here. We'll see how tomorrow and the rest of the week goes, but
Cool. Yeah. The other couple of things that I'm looking at right now, just looking at, doing research on, Comb is one. I'm looking at multi-chain capital. I'm looking at MCC. I'm looking at refi. I don't understand how they work yet. I haven't had a chance to do any research, but I like the like the technicals look interesting. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I've been trying to sort of dollar cost average into just Phantom and AVAX. I've been super bullish on Phantom for a really long time, and I think that's huge right now. So as far as like lower risk stuff, I think I'd really like to grow my bag of Phantom.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are really bullish on Phantom.
Yep.
So I need to get me some of that.
Yep, good times right now.
Yep.
Well, Heffe, I think that's a good wrap for the call. I really hope that this call helps other people in the community and new investors that are looking at Police and Thief game as it gets more attention and they see it in Twitter and so on. Make a decision, an informed decision, and kind of get going in a direction that is beneficial to them and their risk tolerance. So I really appreciate you coming on and talking about it. And thanks for being active in the community in Discord.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
All right, buddy. See you.
See ya.
So if you like this video and you found it helpful to see an interview with a community member and sort of understand how they are investing, and maybe if that helped, then please like and subscribe to this video and turn on all of the bell notifications so that you're alerted next time I release a new video. Thank you.